Alright, folks, so this is episode number 2 from our automations course, and today I will teach you how you can make AI agents inside Make. So this entire series, it's a free course where I'm explaining you how you can use Make to create automations as well as AI agents. And in my last episode, I taught you how you can put names of people on LinkedIn and create an automation that will basically scrape their profile, find LinkedIn content, tell me the likes, comments, and also any media attached. But that was an example of automation. There was no AI inside of it. There was no AI agent inside of it. So now we are taking things a little bit ahead. And in this video, I'll show you how my AI agent will be a part of an AI automation that takes all of this content, whatever LinkedIn post that we have received from those people that we are studying, and then go to ChatGPT and write an Instagram script, make a Google document, paste that script in that Google document, and then also put the link of the Google document in another sheet. So this entire script that you see with proper timestamps, with proper audio tips, with proper B-roll ideas, all of this was created through my AI agent. Now, I'll tell you what the agenda is going to look like. First, I will revise what is an automation and what is an AI agent so that everybody is on the same page. Then our automation expert instructor Rohak will actually take you through the entire creation process. So I will be teaching you the first principles and the fundamentals, and Rohak will be taking you through the entire technical process. Let's quickly first revise what exactly is an automation and what is an AI agent, because multiple tools are there in the industry and they all have different words and terms for explaining the same thing. And I apologize if my sound is different because I am struggling with a bad cold. So folks, let's first understand what is an automation. If you have to repeat a workflow, which is basically a repeatable list of steps, that can look like automation. For example, let's just say that every day at 10 a.m. I want my automation to go to LinkedIn, check out what a CEO has written on his LinkedIn and make a list of all the posts and also send me an email with that content. So I want this automation. Maybe it's like a news reporter thing. Now this automation has these parts, right? This is step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, step number 4. Different tools call these steps different things. Make calls these as modules. And this entire thing is called a scenario. Now, this is an example of an automation. There's no AI happening here because this is just a bunch of tools talking to each other, and through API calls, they're just sending data to each other. There's no intelligence in this entire thing. But what if this is my LinkedIn profile, and then my AI takes the LinkedIn profile and writes a real script using intelligence and then emails me. So again, this was an automation before, but now that one single component, this one right here, is using a large language model, and large language models are nothing but intelligence. I'm talking about the core intelligence of an AI that is derived from an LLM. This thing now becomes an AI automation. Now the thing is, this part of this entire automation, this one single part, as I told you, there can be different kinds of modules, right? So I told you that module 1, module 2, module 3. If this module uses AI, then my automation becomes an AI automation. Now this module can either be just one AI tool or it can be an AI agent. And let me first explain you the difference between an AI tool and an AI agent. So firstly, when any module of my automation is an AI tool or service, it becomes an AI automation. Now, I'll give you an example of a normal automation versus an AI automation, and then we'll deep dive into the difference between an AI tool and an AI agent. So don't worry, everything is going to become very clear super soon. Let's just say that in normal automation, a customer buys a t-shirt on my website. That is the trigger of the automation. What do I mean by trigger? The starting point. And those of you who have seen episode 1, I'm pretty sure you know exactly what I mean. But for those of you who are watching me for the first time, customer comes to my e-commerce website, buys a t-shirt. In AI automation, the trigger is also the same. Customer comes, buys the t-shirt on my website. In normal automation, he gets an email with the invoice. That's all. But in AI automation, he gets an email that is not a generic invoice, but it also has recommendations on the basis of my customer's previous history. So it would check that my customer buys a lot of red products. So it would say that here are some red shoes that will match with this white shirt. So in a normal automation, the outputs are same for everyone. But in my AI automation, because there is some AI tool which is being used to write this custom email, this becomes an AI automation. So then what are AI agents? When I talk about an AI tool versus an AI agent, AI tool is basically one app that can do one task or like very specific tasks very, very well. But an AI agent is stitching of tools together. In fact, an AI agent has a lot more components that AI tools don't really have. So in your entire automation, if this is my entire automation and Make calls this as a scenario, my scenario can have all kinds of modules. Now this module can be a tool or it can be an agent. Now let's understand what are the components that make an AI agent different from an AI tool, because an AI agent is a very advanced version of an AI tool. Firstly, you need a large language model, which is the agent's brain. Without this LLM, your AI agent module is like a dead robot. It has no brain. It's just like a robotic body. Now this LLM can be anything. You can buy a ChatGPT subscription, connect that. You can get a Gemini subscription, you can connect that. It doesn't matter. The AI agent is not branded. You can put whatever LLMs that you want, but this LLM acts as the brain. You can put the entire world's data into an AI agent, but if the AI agent does not have an LLM, it won't have intelligence to act on that data. In fact, without an LLM, an AI agent should be called a dead agent because there is no AI. So the AI is supplied through the LLM. After you get the intelligence, you still need to give instructions, right? So after the LLM, you need to give instructions, and those instructions are called a system prompt. Why is it called a system prompt? Because the instruction or the prompt has been created for the system. What is the system? The AI agent is the system. So this prompt are instructions on how to behave, the main role, limitations, processes, whatever it is. The entire thing is described here. So for example, if I go to Make, and if I click on AI agents, you can see that this is my system prompt, that you are a script writer. You use Google Sheets to get the content ideas, and then you use the script generator to create the real script and document. And one by one, I'll show you what all of these components are, but you need to give the instructions. The instructions are the system prompt. And then once you have the system prompt and the LLM, you need to give context or files as long-term memory, because it needs to remember who you are and what are you trying to achieve. What are some data points that you want the agent to remember in any transaction, in any conversation that you give. In the end, once it has a brain, once it has the instructions, once it has data, you need tools. And it's almost like a robot, right? So a robot needs a brain. A robot needs some memory so that it can store whatever it's working on. A robot needs some instructions, but in the end, to do things, the robot needs hands. It needs applications to click and sort of play around. This is the most important part. And as human beings, as automation creators, this is going to be the most valuable skill. Now students, I have to say this again and again, people talk too much about becoming an automation expert. They're not understanding the entire game. They're not getting the full picture correctly. Please understand that today it is 7th September 25. Today, the humans are the ones that are setting all of these four things. So they do the setup of the agent, and they write the instructions, and they also set up the tools. But by 2027, we will have AI agents that make AI agents. Because if you can write a prescription for something, if you can write a checklist for something, AI can automate it. So moving forward, a lot of your salary is going to be dependent on your ability to orchestrate tools, to create mechanisms, to create workflows, to create structures, to create instructions. A lot of your work and a lot of your payroll will depend on your ability to set up these tools and to set up this context and to set up the system prompt. And right now, you might get paid to stitch these things together as well. So you might get paid for connecting these things also. So today and tomorrow, I'm going to do like a very important comparison. Today, you get paid for creating the tools and the stitching of tools, right? Like actual connections where you go and make API calls and you set up everything. But tomorrow, you will only get paid for the tools design and creating workflows and creating processes. Because right now we're in phase one where AI is acting as an assistant, but in phase number two, we'll have humans and agentic teams working together. And in phase number three, the entire company is going to be human led and agent operated. Now, let me first explain one by one what is happening here, right? So we have this screen right here. This is my system prompt. This is my context. This you ignore for a while. And these are the system tools that are the most important thing. And this is where Make does things very differently from all the other automation tools that you might have seen. In other automation tools, you have the entire automation and you have nodes. And each node is an AI tool or a non-AI tool. And you have to connect those nodes together. Make has done something very genius. What they've done is they told us that you create a scenario has modules, but this module here itself, if this is my module, this module can be further broken down into tools, right? So while other automations are very limiting, they say that you have to make everything here, the tools have to be out. Every other automation says that you have to put everything in the middle. So it becomes very complicated, and I'm pretty sure you've seen those complicated agentic flows where a person can't even make sense of what is happening here. It's so intimidating, it is so scary. Make said, let's make it more abstract, and it's a beautiful design decision. It's an epic design decision. They said that we will take all of these tools and package it together in one single module. And now this module is called AI agent. And the beauty of this that these tools are also scenarios. So are you understanding what's happening? Let me explain this one more time. Okay. For a very long time, you could make scenarios, right? So if this is my scenario, okay, we'll start with a scenario. I have this as my scenario. Now the beauty here is that I can create an AI agent that is nothing but this entire scenario packaged. So this becomes my AI agent, and it should be the AI agent tool. Like if I had to be very specific, and I can create multiple such scenarios and then I can use them all together inside another scenario. So can you imagine the kind of power I can pack in a single chain? And then all of this entire thing can become one AI agent. But how do I go from just a tool to an agent? You have to put your context. You have to put your instructions. But it's absolutely insane. So here, if you see the system tools, and let me come back to my screen, MCP you read after a while. And just to summarize, MCPs are just like a modern version of APIs. APIs are used for two tools to talk to each other. MCPs are used for two AI agents to talk to each other or two AI tools to talk to each other. Let's just keep it at that for a while. Now here in my system tools, these are all the different scenarios that I have created before. So for example, if I go and click on this icon right here and the other tool here, this is a separate scenario that I can reuse in other AI agents as well. So my step number one is what? I have to go to the Google Sheet and get this result. So in my Google Sheet, I have to read all of this content and get it as a result. This is a scenario. And here in my Google Sheet, as you can see, I am fetching all of the results from sheet number 2. And the beauty of this is that I can specify to make that convert all of the content you get from here and make it into an output. Throw an output. This scenario only does one thing, it throws output. How do you decide that? Rohak will be getting into the details of it, but basically now you can create a chain of scenarios. So this scenario number 1 only throws an output, which is the content idea. And I can reuse this in multiple AI agents. I've created this once and it's a reusable scenario. The other tool, so you notice here, this is part number 1. Part number 2 is the script generation. So once you have received the content ideas, this is my scenario part number 2. Now here it receives the input. Can you see here the content idea? This content idea is coming from my previous scenario. That is being supplied here. The script generator is going to ChatGPT, and it is going to ChatGPT. It already has the instructions. It is generating the script. It is also generating the title of the script. It is creating a Google document. It is adding that Google document into the sheet, as you can see here in sheet number 3. So scenario number 1 takes the data from here and throws it as an output. Scenario number 2 takes that script as an input and then performs the entire chain and puts the content here. And my AI agent is using both of these tools. And when I put this context here, it's able to put things together. It knows that, oh, use the Google Sheet tool to get content ideas. Oh, I'm just talking about this Google Sheet. Use the script generator to create the real script and document. Oh, then I have to use this. It is absolutely seamless. I no longer have to go and connect these things. And the most crazy part is that I can reuse this anywhere in other agents also. So one important thing to note here, and Rohak will be deep diving into this, is that when I create an agent, you have to create your provider connection because you need to supply intelligence, and you have to select a model and you have to write a system prompt. Now, when we talk about the model, Make will give you these default options. So it says small GPT OSS, medium GPT OSS 120. So this 120, these are the number of parameters. 20 billion parameters, 120 billion parameters, and then you have GPT-5 mini. Now, what exactly is this OSS? GPT OSS, the word OSS stands for open source style. And if you were to go to OpenAI's website, you will see that these are called open weight reasoning models. Now, of course, let me know in the comment section if you want like foundational videos on how machine learning and AI works and things, because I've usually stayed away from this topic because firstly, I will also have to spend a lot of time taking you through the roots of machine learning, which is your supervised, unsupervised, and then reinforcement learning. Like these are the three categories. And the way AI works, the way machine learning works is that there are certain weights. So let's just say weight 1 multiplied by parameter 1, weight 2 multiplied by parameter 2. So there are certain parameters that helps AI label a certain output. For example, if you have hundreds of pictures of cats and dogs, one parameter can be the shape of the ears. Another parameter can be how the nose looks like. But you have to give a certain level of importance to certain parameters, and some parameters might not get too much of importance. For example, the parameter of 4 legs will not get that much of a weight because both cats and dogs have 4 legs, so that parameter will not get too much of weight. But when it comes to the shape of the nose, that is a very important parameter that will get like a lot of weight. Now, OpenAI and all of these AI applications, the way they think, they have a lot of parameters. As you can see, they have 20 billion parameters, 120 billion parameters. They all of them have these weights, and they don't reveal these weights, because if they reveal the weights, then they're like literally giving away all of the valuable information, right? But sometimes they release open weight models where you know exactly the weightage of each and every parameters. These are like completely open source. So as you can see, open weight models are LLMs that make their trained weights. These are the weights that I spoke about, the weight 1 multiplied by parameter 1, where it's publicly available, though the training data and code may not be shared. So this access allows the developers to customize and fine-tune these pre-trained models. But I don't think we have to get into that. Let me know in the comment section if you want foundational videos on machine learning and AI. I can actually bring in a very good teacher. I just feel like we work very hard on these technical videos and we don't really get a good response on technical videos, so we stopped making them. But let me know if we can get good views on this video also, then it becomes more sustainable for the channel. So just to summarize, what we will now learn, now that you understand the core theory and the core basics, is that once you create an AI agent, you have to select the model, and then you have to create a system instruction, and then you have to create scenarios separately, and those scenarios will get embedded here in the system tool. So if I had to sort of summarize this entire advice, is that step number 1, we set up the AI agent where we define the goal, the LLM, and the context. Then we will create the AI agents tools. So these are all the scenarios, and you have to specify that what each and every tool will throw as an output and what the other tool will require as an input. And then we will connect the scenarios to the AI agent. So this was a quick foundational context setting exercise, and now I think you're ready to finally go into the main session.
Hi everyone. Now that Ansh has explained you the basics, I'll teach you exactly how you can convert your LinkedIn post into a highly engaging reel script using AI agents on Make. So for that, we'll simply head over to make.com. Now that Make is one of the best no-code automation workflows and agent creation platform, we'll see how we can create AI agents on Make. Now when you open make.com, this is the screen that you see. All you have to do is do a simple login and sign up. Now that I've already done this step, I'll skip that part. Now, after signing into Make, this is the exact dashboard that you will see. On the left side, you can see that you have options for organization, grid, teams, scenarios, and AI agents. There are also additional settings like accounts, notifications, as well as help. On the right side, you can see the number of credits that has been used by your automation workflows. This gives you a complete overview of how your organization and automation works. Now, to create an AI agent on Make, all you have to do is simply click on this AI agents part. Now, this is what you'll see after clicking it. You can see that I have the list of all of my AI agents as well as an option on the top right to create a new agent. So for this example, we'll create a new agent. Now, the first step while creating an AI agent on Make is your AI integration, which includes integrating API key of any available M model. So in our example, we will be using OpenAI's API key. Now, to add a new connection in your AI agents, all you have to do is click on this add button and rename your connection name to anything. For example, my Makes AI provider connection. I let it be this only, and all you have to do is click on this save button. After this, you have to name your agent. So for example, I give a name to my agent, which is script writer agent CS, or let's say script writer agent version 3. Now, while creating AI agents, it's better to give a unique name to your agents so that you can simply differentiate while seeing the list. From the models, I'll select the GPT-5 model because GPT-5 is the latest model and it's very helpful for creating these types of agents. Now, for a system prompt, I'll simply enter a very simple prompt to get started. For example, you are a script writer agent. Now, we'll also modify this prompt in our next step, but this is crucial to get started. So with a simple prompt, all I have to do is click on this save button, and this is the exact setting page that I see on my AI agents dashboard on Make. Here you can see that I have my prompt. A second option to add the context. Now, what is context? Context lets your AI model have a memory. So using that memory, your AI agent can answer or do the task for you on a predefined sets of document. Now, after that, you also get an option for a MCP server. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Now, this is a very interesting topic in this AI agents era. But in our case, we'll not be covering this. We'll be using tools only. So my assignment to you is study a little bit about MCP and we'll obviously cover in our next videos. So in our case, we will be using the system tools. Now, what will our AI agent do exactly? So our AI agent will fetch the ideas for us that are stored in our Google Sheet and will create a very engaging Instagram reel script on a Google document. Let's see how we can add system tools in our AI agents. So to add a system tool, all you have to do is click on this add. Now, as you can see, the tools in Make is nothing but all the scenarios that you make. So for example, if I have a scenario named Vapi that can act as my another tool. For example, I have created this Google Sheets tool. So this is a scenario, but in agent's case, it is called a tool. So to create a new tool, all you have to do is go to your Make dashboard. On the top right, you will get the option to create a new scenario. And as soon as you click on this new scenario, this is the exact screen. So going back to our agent dashboard, let's enhance the prompt first. So the first step for the agent is to fetch the ideas from the Google Sheet. Now, let me show you the Google Sheet I am referring to. Now, this is the Google Sheet that contains my LinkedIn post, which also means ideas in our case. So this is the LinkedIn post that we extracted in our first automation video on Make. We'll be continuing from here only. Now don't worry if you don't have this sheet, all you have to do is have one sheet in which you have your content ideas and that's good to go. Going back to our Make agent dashboard, the first tool that the agent will use is to find the content idea from this Google Sheet. So I'll write use the Google Sheets tool which we will be creating to get the content ideas. Now, after it has fetched the content ideas for you, we want a OpenAI module to generate a real script for us and also create a Google document for this. So I'll write use the script generator tool to create the real script and document. Now this is our prompt for our AI agent, the first tool that our AI agent will use. So going back to our scenario window, we get an empty canvas. Now since we want to fetch the data from Google Sheets, in our case, a trigger will be a Google Sheet. So for those who don't know, a trigger is something that starts your automation. Imagine it as walking to a door and the door automatically opens. Now the sensors detects your footsteps. That's the trigger. So in our case, the trigger will be a Google Sheets row. Now to add a Google Sheet row, all you have to do is search for Google Sheets and you will get this particular module. Click on show more and find the option search rows. Now search rows helps you extract the information from your Google Sheet. I'll click on search rows. Now the first step while adding this Google Sheet node is to create a connection. Now creating a connection on Make is very easy. All you have to do is click on this add button and do a simple sign in with Google, similarly as you do for all the other websites. And I have already done that step, so I'll skip this part. Now this is the actual connection of my Google Sheet. Now for the spreadsheet ID, I'll search for my Google Sheet, which is LinkedIn Sheet 1. Here is my Google Sheet ID. Now from the sheet name, as you can see on my LinkedIn sheet, I have my ideas collected in sheet 2. So I'll simply go back to my scenario and select sheet 2. Now instead of using A to CZ, I'll use BZ. I'll use A to BZ because my ideas are stored in the second column or column B. You can also add filters. For example, if you want to fetch on a particular conditions, you can add those conditions here itself. You can also add order by, which is just sorting your whole Google Sheets or the data fetched. Now from here, I'll set the limit to 5 for example. Now this is the number of Google Sheets row that our AI agent will fetch. So for testing, let's do it one only and I'll click on save. Let's see and I'll click on save. And always remember to save your scenario again and again because Make doesn't offer autosave. So here is the save button for you. If you don't save your automation or due to some reasons the automations get lost, there is no way to recover it. So I suggest you to always save your automation. Now, we are successfully getting the data from our Google Sheet, but we want to return the exact data that we got from our Google Sheet. Make offers a very useful module called return. So as you can see, here is the return output module. In this, all you have to do is click on this add scenario outputs, click on add item. Now you'll have to define what this tool or what this scenario will give in output. So in my case, it will be content ideas. So I'll write content underscore idea. Now to enter a description, I'll just say that the ideas for the content. And these are some additional settings, but these are not required for this particular moment. And I'll click on save. Now I'll also rename this scenario to Google Sheets Tool V3 and click on this save button. So now to test your workflow, all you have to do is click on this run once. And as you can see, both of these modules were completed successfully. And let's see the output for both of these. As you can see, the Google Sheet module was able to extract the exact post from our Google Sheets. Now you have successfully created your first tool for your Make AI agent. Now let's create the second tool. Now the second tool is responsible for generating the script as well as creating a new document and then also storing it into our Google Sheet so that we can access it easily. So for that, you simply go to Make Dashboard again and click on Create Scenario. Now, the input for this tool will be coming from our first tool. So the first tool gave us the ideas for content and the second tool will execute those ideas and convert that into a script. So the first module for our second tool will be a OpenAI module. Let's click on Show More Options and use the option Create a Model Response. Now, in this also, the first step is to create a connection to a OpenAI API. So for that, all you have to do is simply click on this add button and enter your API key here. Now, how will you exactly find this API key? To find the API key, all you have to do is head over to OpenAI dashboard. After signing in to your OpenAI dashboard, click on your profile and on the left side, find the API keys and you'll see all the API keys that you have created previously. Create a new API key, enter the name of your API key, and this will be created. And copy that API key, go back to your Make dashboard and paste that API key here. It is that simple to integrate OpenAI with Make. Now, I've already done this part, so I'll skip this. Choose your OpenAI connection and you can also give it a name so that you don't lose it. From the model, let's use GPT-5 model because it's the latest model and it's very good with all this prompt generation and it's very good with the output. Now, prompt type will be text only. You can also set it to an image prompt, a file prompt, a reusable prompt, or an input array. In our case, it's a simple script, so we'll keep it a text prompt only. Click on text prompt, and in this text prompt, we'll ask this module or OpenAI GPT model to create a script for us. Now, before creating a script, let's write the prompt here. So let's say create a highly engaging Instagram reel script for now. Here we have to paste our content idea that we received from our first tool. So for that, you have to add that particular input in your workflow. Now it's very easy in Make to add or to map the inputs even if it's not available in that particular workflow. So for that, all you have to do is click on this scenario inputs and output, click on add item, and if you remember, the name of the output of a first tool was content idea. If the first tool outputs the content idea variable, then the second tool is also supposed to accept that content idea only. So I'll define it as content idea, and for the description, I'll write the ideas for the content and click on save. Now let's see. Always remember to save your workflow again and again. Now, as soon as you click on this prompt, you get the following options on your left side. Now, this includes search items, fill by AI, additional settings, and the last part is where our custom and system variables exist. So as you can see that we'll have to find the content idea in this case. So we'll hit a simple refresh because most of the time if you are not able to find a setting that you have already configured, click on a simple refresh. As you can see, this is our OpenAI node. We select the model again, we select the prompt type as text prompt and we say create a highly engaging reel script for, and going back to our custom inputs and outputs, you can see that our content idea variable is now visible. Now this is a global variable because you can see that this content idea variable didn't exist in our particular flow, but we can simply define it as shown. Simply drag and drop this content idea in your prompt and that's it. Click on save and you have created your first module for your second tool. Now, this module will be responsible to create a reel script for me. Now, I am creating a document. So this will give me the content of the document, that is the reel script. Now, I also want the title of that particular document. So for that, we'll use one more OpenAI module similar to this only. Click on module, click on OpenAI and click on create a module response. Same settings. Let's use GPT-5 only. From the prompt type, select text prompt, but this time the prompt will be to generate suitable one-line title for, and simply drag and drop your variable again. Now, you can see in this, you are also getting the output from your previous module. So it's very easy in Make to use previous module's output as an input for your next module. So once this is configured, I'll click on save, and since it's a little confusing, I'll rename this OpenAI module and call it the script generator. And the second one will be renamed to the title generator because it's creating the title for you. Now, it's very important for you to rename your modules because when you create a very complex workflows, it's get very difficult for you, even for the person working alongside with you, to understand what's your automation or the agents is about. So it's always helpful to rename your modules. Now, the script is generated, the title is also generated. Now, the next step is to create a Google document. So for that, you can search for Google document directly. So I'll search for Google document. So as you can see, I get the option for Google Docs. Now I want to create a new document for every script. So I'll use the option create a document. Feel free to explore all the other options. Now, this is the setting that you get when you click on create a document. The connection type is very similar to Google Sheets. All you have to do is click on this add button and do a simple sign in with Google, and your Google document will be connected with Make. That's how easy it is. We'll click on this close. Now on the right side, you can see that you have all the outputs of your previous module. Now if I close them one by one, these are my two previous modules. So my name will come from my title generator. So I'll click on open it, and let's see where we get the ID or the response. So this result variable is what is the output of our title generator. So I'll simply drag and drop this result. For the content, I'll close this module, open my script generator response, and drag and drop the result from there. Now, you can see that the first one is the second node's result. Now, as you can see, both of these results are different and are from different modules. Now, we'll also have to choose a path for our Google document. So we'll let it select my drive. Now, all you have to do is create a new folder in your Google document and find this using this simple method. You can simply search for your folder name after creating it into Make. And that's it. That's all the settings for my Google document. I'll click on save. Now my title is being generated and my Google document is being generated. Now for me to go back to that folder in my Google Drive again and again is very difficult. How easy would it be if I get this Google document link directly into my Google Sheet only, the same Google Sheet that contains my idea? So for that, all you have to do is click on this add icon, search for Google Sheets, and choose the option add a row. Now, before continuing, let's go back to our Google Sheet and create a new sheet. Now, in our new Google Sheet, we'll store the title as well as the document link. So going back to our make scenario, all you have to do is search this same Google Sheet, and I'll search for LinkedIn Sheet 1, which is my original sheet, and from this I'll select sheet 3, and thus table contains headers. Headers means the column names. So yeah, it contains headers. For the title, I'll drag and drop the title from the title generator response. So here goes the result, and from the Google document link, I'll simply drag and drop the variable from the Google document output that includes that document link. So let's see which one contains. So here we can see that there is a variable called web view link. Now this is the exact document link that we'll use, and we click on save. Now let's name it script generator tool v3. So it's a very unique name, and it also includes v3, which is our agent version. So now you have created your second tool for your AI agent also. Now, so for that, you'll have to change your schedule settings. So click on this clock button, change it from at regular intervals to on demand, because your AI agent will be only the one calling these tools. I'll change it to on demand, click on save. Now, as soon as you enter or select the trigger on demand, your scenario must be active. So in only that way, your AI agent will be able to call that scenario. So I'll click on this active scenario button. It says there are unsaved changes. I have saved it again. Now I don't see the updated name. I'll change it again, and I'll name it script generator tool v3. Let's click on save. The scenario was saved. Click on save. Let's cross verify. So yeah, now the second tool will run on demand. Same goes for our first tool. We go back to our first tool again, select the schedule, change it from regular intervals to on demand. Now, same message that you need to activate your scenario to call this tool on demand. There are unsaved changes. I'll click on save again. Now, these tool works only when the AI agents call them. Now, going back to our agent dashboard, this is what we see. So we have already configured prompts. Now we have created the new tools or scenarios that our AI agent can use. So for that, all you have to do is click on this add tool option and find your particular scenario. As you can see on the bottom, I can see my Google Sheets tool version 3 and my script generator tool version 3. How cool is that? All you had to do was create a new scenario and your AI agent can use that as tools. Now, you'll have to add a description to these tools. So adding a description will allow your AI agent to know what exactly this particular tool does. So for example, for our Google Sheets tool, I'll say this tool finds the content ideas. And for the script generator tool, I'll say this tool generates the script and generate a script in a document. Click on save, select both of your tools and click on this add button. And as you can see, you have created your AI agent on Make. You have also created tools for your AI agent and you have also added those tools in your AI agent. Now, there is one benefit for creating tools as scenarios in Make. So, these tools can also be accessed by my other agents. So, my Google Sheets tool V3 can also be accessed by some other agent that is responsible or that wants to use the same functionality. So, you create a tools only once and reuse it multiple times. Now, on the right side, you get the option to test your agent, but we'll also create a new scenario to test out our agent. To create a new scenario, go back to your Make dashboard again and click on Create New Scenario button. Let me go back to my Make dashboard. I'll go to Organizations and on the top right, you can select Create Scenario. Now Make has added AI agent as one of its module. Now all you have to do is search for AI agent and it says a option to run an agent. From the list, you can choose your agent. In our case, you can see we can get Scriptwriter Agent V3. As soon as I click on Scriptwriter Agent V3, you can see that it's getting option to add tools. So maybe the tools that we added were not saved. So here you can see the tools were added, but on the top right, you get the option to save it. Simply click on the save button. Always remember to save your settings in Make again and again because if you lose them, there is no way to get them back. So after saving it, let's go back to our scenario. Select V3 again, click on save. Let's see if it gets the tools. Yeah, you can see the tools are now being reflected. You also get the options to add MCP and context here. You also get an option to add the messages. But let's click on save and run this agent actually. So I'll click on run once. Now this agent has started to execute. As you can see, this AI agent is calling our tools and getting the content ideas in the background. Let's see how it works and what output it gives. Now let's see the output that our AI agent gave. So we click on responses and you can see that this was the response from our AI agent. It says, I tried fetching content ideas from your Google Sheet, but it was unable to do so. Now let's verify our first tool and let's see why this fails. Going back to our first tool, let's see what we missed. Let's save this once and yeah. So this is the step that we missed. So it's very important for you to understand the final message of your AI agent and then re-verify your tools. So I'll simply click on this content idea. Now, why it was unable to find the content idea? Because we didn't pass the output from our Google Sheets into our written module. So what I'll do is simply select this post text, which is my column 2 or column B, and click on save and save this workflow. Go back to my Make AI agent and let's run this once. So please remember, while creating AI agents or automations on Make, you might run into errors. So it's very important for you to re-verify your steps and understand the error and then fix that error yourself. And it's very easy to fix these kind of errors on Make. Now let's see if this AI agent runs successfully. Now let's revise what we have configured so far. We created new tools as scenarios and we gave those tools to our AI agents. Now we have created a new scenario which includes Make AI agents. Now let's see the output of this. So it says that I have created a short form reel script and all. Here is the reel script. Here is the following things. Here is the short paragraph and much more. Now this output can be made far more better with the prompt that you use in your OpenAI module. So the better the prompt, the better your AI agent's results are. Let's go back to our Google Sheets. Now, here you can see on our sheet 3, we have successfully received the title for our reel script, which is OpenAI to Open First India Office. Now, this was the LinkedIn post that we used and the document link. Let me simply click on this document, and as you can see that your AI agent has successfully created a reel script for you using AI agents on Make. And it has also specified hook for you, set the news for you, why India for you. It has also included some timestamps for you and much more. It has also given you the B-roll ideas. Now, I want you to try changing that prompt, and instead of using only text prompt, also use the image prompt and try out all other variations to this. See, how cool is it that you picked an idea from your Google Sheet and then created a Google document, and all this was done with your AI agent that you created on Make. So this is a script writer agent on Make, and this is how you can simply create AI agents on Make. Now I want you to try all the variations for these agents and let us know in the comments.
Alright, so I hope the entire video did make sense. I know that this might be too much for a non-technical person, but folks, let me tell you, if you start learning about AI agents today, you will thank yourself that I spent enough time learning this skill on time. If you would like to try Make yourself, the link to sign up is right at the top of the description. And if you're a new user, you will also get 1 month free of the pro plan when you sign through it. We will be making more videos on Make automation because I personally feel that Make is overtaking a lot of traditional AI agentic tools simply because of its user experience and the way they have crafted the entire experience. But folks, it becomes very difficult for us to produce these videos without your support. It is my request to you that if you've made it till this point, please talk about us on LinkedIn. Please take a picture of this video and talk about your notes, share your progress, so that people get to know that the Cutting Edge School is making efforts to spread awareness on the subject of agentic AI and automations. That too for free. Because if we are not able to get support from you folks, from the audience, then sustaining the channel becomes very expensive. So let me know in the comment section if this video was useful to you. If you feel that this was very valuable, let us know how was it valuable, what was your favorite part. Don't forget to click on subscribe. Please don't forget to click on the bell icon. And I will see you in the next episode. I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This was your instructor Ansh Mehra and your instructor Rohak, and you were learning from the Cutting Edge School.